everybody. Welcome to OLLI Showcase. It's so great to see all these faces out here. Thank you all for coming. My name is Jan Smith. I'm your OLLI president. Nice, thank you. That's why I'm up here first. Lucky me. So how many folks do we have out there who are brand new OLLI members for the very first time ever? Can you stand up? Stand up, let us see you. Stand up. Yeah. Yay, thank you. Well, we're not here to scare you. We're here to tell you what's going to happen. So I wanted to introduce you to some of our leadership also who we have in the room. We have our executive director, Deborah Herman. Our program coordinator, Terry Aronson. She's back there at the door coordinating. We have our first vice president, Debbie Justice OLLI, who is in charge of Showcase this year, and Kent Putnam, our second vice president, who's keeping time. Also, our member representatives, if you're in the room, will you stand up, please? Thank you. So we have, our member representatives are Mary Ann Price from Westminster Oaks. We have George Wass back there in the back. We have Nancy Norman over here and Marcia Vandendoren. Marcia is also our volunteer chair. So she's the lady who will be soliciting you for volunteering. Also, we have Laura Morris, who stood up in the front, so I totally missed her. Laura is our Red Hills member representative. So thank you all. They're the folks you can talk to about things you have concerns about. So we have a promo going on. If you're new to OLLI and you're brand new, like some of the folks who stood up, this is your first time, and you get an annual membership, you get a class valued up to $65 for free. If you get a semester membership, you get a class valued up to $35 for free. So it's a great deal. So be sure, that you let us know you're new, and if someone referred you who's a member of OLLI, they also get a discount for that referral. So it's very important that we keep track of these things. Also, when we were speaking about volunteers, all of the folks that I introduced to you, with the exception of Deborah and Terry, are volunteers. And the backbone of OLLI is its volunteers. So if you have an interest in helping, giving back to the OLLI that we love by volunteering, Deborah sends an email out every Friday to all of the OLLI membership, and in it is a link to a volunteer questionnaire. We would really appreciate it if you would fill that out if you're interested in volunteering, or if you have volunteered. If you are a well-known volunteer of OLLI, we would still like you to fill that questionnaire out so that Marcia, our new volunteer chair, can keep track of who all our volunteers are and get you situated where you can help the most. So we would really appreciate that. Also, we have registration on Wednesday, this Wednesday, online at olli.fsu.edu, promptly starting at 10 a.m. So if you have a class you really want to take that's very popular, you want to be right on it at 10 a.m. before it disappears. At that time, you can sign in or set up your sign-in, which I think you can do before registration, right? You can get your sign-in set up on the OLLI website, which is a good thing to do before Wednesday so that you don't have to spend time doing that. Then you can sign in, select your classes, select any other activities you want to participate in, and if you're taking a class on FSU campus, be sure to purchase a parking pass also at that time so that you have a place to park. Very important, because parking at FSU, we know that's not fun. If you have any questions about how to do any of that, we have folks out there at the registration table outside this room who can help you and answer your questions for you. To paraphrase Henry Ford, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. And that's why we're here today, to learn about the classes coming up from our great group of instructors. So you'll hear from them today. They'll be pretty much in day order. And if you have the little list of all the classes, you can kind of follow along. But they'll be, first coming up will be Monday and Wednesday group, and a few Thursdays, and then the Thursday and Saturday? Thursday and Saturday group will come up second. And you'll hear from each of them. They'll each have a limited amount of time to tell you what they're going to be teaching. So if you're on the fence about what to take, like I am on several courses, sometimes that helps you make up your mind. So we hope that you enjoy that. But the other part of OLLI is the fun part. And I've got someone down here who can tell you all about that. We don't just learn by sitting in a class. We learn by taking part in fun activities and craft activities and all kinds of cultural enrichment. So I would like to have Marie Cluis come on up and tell us all about our fun activities for fall semester.
Thank you, President Jan Smith. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. I am your activities chairperson, but I couldn't do it without an entire team. So I have a group of activity coordinators and hosts. So if you find yourself in an activity and I say, please help me host, I hope that you can be ready to say yes. I think that's Marcia's line. All of our activities we are offering this semester cover the cultures and arts, history, sports, dancing, music, and some of the highlights would be the Riley Museum, right there in downtown Tallahassee. You may never have been. Or the Tyndall Air Force Base. We'll be taking a field trip out there. Or how about a French dinner? We will be watching French cuisine be cooked and then eat it, and that'll be wonderful. And how about pickleball? I mean, everybody needs to know that sport these days, right? So I hope that you will take a look at all of those activities. Special, that's not in your catalog, is this October. We are making an OLLI scene, a schematic of scarecrows. So if you've not done the walk at Maclay Gardens in October, where you see all the different scenes and scarecrows in interesting positions, we have OLLI clubs. We'll all be represented at that walk in October in Maclay Gardens. I hope that you will come and see that. So please consider offering any suggestions. If you don't see something that you enjoy doing and you would like to offer a suggestion, there's a sheet on the activities table. Please let me know. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at many activities.
Scarecrows in different positions. Wonder what that's about. Okay. One note, the one class has been postponed. The Birth of Abstraction from Van Gogh to Matisse has been postponed. So if you were interested in that, it'll be another time. Otherwise, can we now have the Monday, Wednesday, and some of the Thursday folks come on up? Oh, the class that's being postponed is the Birth of Abstraction from Van Gogh to Matisse, and that's been postponed. It was being taught by Lauren Weingart on Thursdays. Thursday. You're welcome.
Well, hello, everyone. I'd like us, before I give any information, I want to, let's play a game. So I'm going to play a musical selection, and then I'm going to take a show of hands to see how many of you recognize this. Somebody shout it out. What is that? Ready, march. Okay, how about this one? So what is that one? Hark the Herald Angels Sings. Anyone know what they have in common?
Mendelssohn.
Written by Mendelssohn, yes, Felix Mendelssohn, is the topic of my class. If we haven't met before, I'm Corinne Stillwell, concertmaster of the Tallahassee Symphony and faculty in the College of Music. And my class will meet on Thursday afternoons, 3 Thursdays in October. The reason I'm going first today is because I have to go run and teach a class, so I'm really sorry to all of my colleagues and all of you, but I appreciate telling you about my class. It will be Thursdays, October 10th, 17th, and 24th from 11 till 12:30 here on FSU's campus. We will be discussing the life and times of Felix Mendelssohn, who has lived in the first half of the 19th century, and we will also be talking about his 8 glorious string quartets, what makes them wonderful, what makes them some of my most favorite pieces. Some of them are very famous, and they're glorious music, so I hope you'll come and join me for an exploration of Felix Mendelssohn's heartwarming string quartets. Thank you.
I'm going to now sing the pieces that she just got. Just kidding. My name is Bob O'Leary. I am a 50-year photographer here in Tallahassee, music ed degree from FSU. Went right into photography. I'm teaching 2 courses. The first class is Wednesday at 9:30 to 11, Adobe Photoshop for photographers. This is the first time we've offered this here because the requirement for the class is to have a laptop with Photoshop on it. You bring the laptop, you bring your camera. We're going to dive into Photoshop, Lightroom, Camera Raw, and get into the editing and the nuts and bolts and the nitty-gritty of editing digital images. That's like the graduate class. The undergraduate class is my next class I'm teaching, which is digital photography for everyone. A digital camera would be ideal if you had one, but cell phones are welcome just as well. Anything that'll take a picture, because that class is about taking good pictures with whatever you're using. This is an oral aid. This is what taking a picture sounds like. This is what taking a Pulitzer Prize-winning picture sounds like. The difference is what I'll be teaching you in the class as to what you decide. So that class, thank you. That class is 11:30 to 1 o'clock on Wednesday as well. So there's the advanced Photoshop class in the morning, and then right after that one's over at 11:30 is the photography for everyone. Last semester we did the photography for everyone, and Jan, our president, was our model, and we photographed her. I brought her in the studio. We did some studio photography. We walk around campus. We take pictures of different things. We come back. We critique the images. You bring your favorite images in on a flash drive. Everybody has a flash drive, right? I've picked up a few. That's integral to the class. Bring images on the flash drive, or things that you shot, put them on your flash drive, bring them in. We'll critique them, we'll look them over. I'll touch a few up in Photoshop, and we will learn from there how to make better photographs with the equipment, whatever the equipment is we have. It's a lot of fun. We get to see a wide range of quality, and everyone in the class gets better. And it's a lot of fun, because you'll see some surprising things there. So come join us if you can. Thank you.
I think you started a tradition. I'm not sure how long it will last of standing up, but and in deference to the second vice president, you're keeping time. Is that correct? I think we should test you as you test us.
He's ready.
So we're now engaged. It's a privilege, once again, to be back teaching with, through, around, and for OLLI in terms of the community and your extraordinary collective interest and the diversity and experience. And then that applies equally to the instructors who have a privilege of engaging with the students. So what I will be doing this semester, is teaching 2 classes, drawing upon, and I see a number of familiar faces who I've had the privilege of knowing over the years, but drawing upon background and experience, not because that will result in, quote, right answers, just different perspectives, different approaches. I've had, use the word again, privilege of serving as special counsel to Governor Lawton Chiles, then for 2 years, the last 2 years of the second term of President Clinton, served as a senior advisor on the White House staff in the Office of the Special Envoy to the Americas. And then during the George W. Bush administration, served as a foreign affairs officer in the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs at the State Department, came back to Florida by way of serving as an interim foreign policy advisor to the 4-star Marine general who became chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Again, doesn't lead to any particular right answers per se, just different optics, different protocols, different perspectives. So the 2 courses that we'll be exploring this semester, some have characterized issues as controversial. I'm not really sure what that means. They're issues. Sometimes they're energized issues, and they're issues that can be and should be discussed. So the first course that I'm teaching is Israel, Gaza, and Hamas from an international systems perspective. And so the pedagogy is spot the issue, identify the implications, and then attempt to reconcile with legal policy, ethical, doctrinal, historical, whatever the appropriate frameworks are, within the context of the international system. So certainly some things to discuss and emerging issues, no doubt, that will add to our agenda moving forward. The second course, and these are both on Wednesday, is the first course was 6 weeks. The second course is a 3-week course, and that's Great Decisions. The Foreign Policy Association produces materials once a year, resources once a year. It identifies what it perceives to be 8 subject matter relevant areas that we use as a springboard, in effect, to explore challenging foreign policy issues. So that, a number of you have taken that course before. Whether you've taken that course before or not at all, each course is a new approach. There's no prerequisite. So I would encourage you to consider it. And we again take a similar approach to the issues, which also creates significant space for divergent views. And it's really not about telling anyone what to think. It's how we go about unpacking the issues and applying critical analysis. So I would be remiss if I didn't check timekeeper. How are we doing? I have a whole minute. Any questions? No. Thank you. Yeah, names, by the way, that you could learn through me. Mentioning your name is sometimes relevant, but it's Mark Schlackman. But out of this room, I may deny that moving forward. Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Linda Collins, and this is a mountain dulcimer. This is a particularly beautiful one made by a gentleman out in Texas. And my class is going to meet on Wednesday mornings, 9:30 at Westminster Oaks. And the class is The Mountain Dulcimer in American Culture. Now, we may not realize it, but the American culture, our culture, consists of a lot of things that come from all over and that then spread. So this instrument is the only truly American instrument. It was created in the Appalachian Mountains. And so we'll in our class, we'll examine how the people lived in those times, what role that the instrument played in their lives, and then we'll trace the instrument as it goes places all over our country, goes to New York City during the folk revival, goes out to Texas, goes to Nashville, goes out to California. And every one of these, and comes to Florida. There are so many dulcimer players now in the state of Florida, which is very surprising to some of us. but it's a very accessible instrument. Speaking of which, we will not be playing. This is not a playing class. This is a class from a folklore perspective, but you'll get to listen to lots of wonderful music and begin to understand something about how music joins us all together and how people can take a simple instrument like this, which basically has only the white notes on the piano, and do something so wonderful with it over time. So this is what it sounds like if I can do this. I can't play standing up. Let me sit for a minute. So bring this down. See if you can hear this. I have 30 seconds left. Oh, no, I don't. I don't. Anyway, I do hope that a bunch of you will come. There have been wonderful reports. It's sort of an unusual subject, but people who have come to the class have said it's the best class they ever took, or that it's better than they ever thought it could be. And so I hope to have a really robust group this time. Come and join me. Thanks.
Bonjour,
Bonjour,
ça va?
ça va bien?
Oui, ça va. Et vous? Ça va bien aussi. Voulez-vous parler français avec moi? Oui.
Ce soir.
Je m'appelle Maggie, and I will be teaching, which is better, like this? I'll be teaching gentle French conversation. I am the director of the Alliance Française of Tallahassee, and this class will be on Wednesdays at 11:30 at the Pepper Center. We will learn slowly and deliberately how to speak full sentences so you may have real, authentic conversations with Francophone people. We will also have regional food and wine. This is a class that's meeting over the lunch hour. So we'll do some tastings to give us a little bit of energy as we go. And this class promises to be a comfortable space for people who want to learn French and travel or speak with Francophone people here in the United States. Au plaisir de vous voir en classe. Looking forward to seeing you in class.
Good morning. My name is Ben Gunter. I'm the artistic director for Theater with a Mission, and I'm here to talk about Tallahassee turning 200. When I flew back from LA this morning and got to the Tallahassee airport, it was great to feel bicentennial vibes happening all over again. The bicentennial doesn't end until the end of this year, and this course that I'm telling you about, which is called How People Partied in Tallahassee 200 Years Ago, and it meets 11:30 to 1 on Wednesdays. This class is getting you ready for the grand finale. On December 27th to 29th at Goodwood, there will be a bicentennial birthday bash that will let you experience and actually step into how people partied 200 years ago. What does that mean? Well, it means we go straight to the top for firsthand sources, because there were people like Lizzie Brown, a governor's daughter, and Ellen Call, a governor's daughter, who kept diaries, and their diaries tell us how people partied 200 years ago. So we have real confidence that we're going to the top and getting the real information about what people ate. Here's a reproduction of Mary Archer's Tallahassee tea cake. when they decided to tie one on 200 years ago, and what they said when they toasted, and what they put in their glasses when they toasted. So we'll be looking at things like that, how to taste history, how to toast history. We'll also be looking at stripping away all the dust that's gotten between us and history and finding out how to put on a whole new perspective as we look at Tallahassee parties from the inside. Getting many different perspectives on that. We'll also be giving you a chance to step into actual dances that made Tallahassee famous or infamous 200 years ago, depending on your point of view. So if you would like to get hands-on with history, if you would like to dig into Tallahassee's party town atmosphere, and if you'd like to prep for the grand finale of the bicentennial, come join us on Wednesdays. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Xixi Shen. I'm a PhD candidate for piano pedagogy at the College of Music. The class I'm teaching is called Group Piano Lessons. So if you haven't played piano before, this is a wonderful class for you to start out. It's a music playing class, so you're going to really touch the piano and play something. And here are some keywords I'm going to mention for this class. First is healthy. So imagine yourself sitting in front of a piano. We want to play in a very healthy habit with most of the comfortable feeling. And second is ensemble. We will be into a friendly group together, and you will not feel alone in this whole music journey. We will support each other and play some fun music. And third, international. We will experience some different kinds of music as we make progress, and get yourself prepared for this journey and with different cultures. I'm planning to bring some Peking opera to you, so it would sound like this. Long li ger long, longer li ger long. But you will play this on piano instead. But I will also show you how this looks like. Fourth, improvisation. I would like to quickly invite you to clap this rhythm after me. Listen first. I love avocado. Let's start and I love avocado. And another one. I love avocado. Ready? And I love avocado. Another one. I love avocado. Ready? And I love avocado. Great. It seems like you are all perfect candidate for this course. Feel free to register for this class. It's not intimidating at all. So my class will start on October 9th, Wednesday, 1:30 to 3 p.m. I would like to see you in the class. Thank you.
If you can't tell by the clapping, I don't have any rhythm, but I do know a little, but I do know a little something about AI. AI is a buzzword nowadays. Whether it's on Facebook and you see an image with 6 fingers, or you're just scrolling and now it's, what is this? Or this text is AI generated, or this doesn't sound very human to me. Hello everyone, my name is Robert Joseph. I'm a student in the Department of Scientific Computing studying computational science, and I'm thrilled to announce my course on Foundations in Artificial Intelligence. In this course, I hope that we are able to look over and review ChatGPT generated text, ChatGPT generated images, as well as just analyze what it means to be human nowadays. I feel as if it's become a very interesting topic for all of us when we look at something and we can tell and we can feel that there's no life in it. It's just a computer who has a lot of information that it's gathered, and we don't know how it's gathered it, and now it's produced an output. This output doesn't resonate to us because it lacks soul. So in my course, I hope that we're able to analyze these images, analyze these texts, as well as just analyze what it means to be a human at the end of the day. If you're interested in my course, I'll be teaching it at Westminster Oaks from 2:30 to 4 on Wednesdays. And I hope to see you there, and I hope we get to explore what it means to be a human. Thank you.
Wow, we are going some 2,000 years back now, from the ultra-modern impacts of AI to learning Qigong. Welcome, my name is Bettina Steinbock, and I'm excited to be able to give you a warm invitation to experiencing the ancient practice of Qigong with me. Developed some 2,000 years ago. Qigong was developed mirroring the movements of nature. And it is part of the traditional Chinese medical system as a preventative medicine. So what makes Qigong unique is the combination of mindfulness, meditation, visualizations combined with flowing movements and synchronized breath work. So it's sort of best described as a meditation in motion, and we really can regulate our nervous system. So what we learn is to sense our energy, to feel it, to direct it, to transform it. And so in that process, we then build our stamina, balance, and harmony between our mind and our body. So over the 6 weeks of the class, I will teach a classic 5-element Qigong routine. And those 5 elements are sometimes called 5 phases in the Chinese medical system. And they are, first of all, metal, water, wood, fire, and earth, and they are connected to the organ systems within our body, as well as the emotions, the different emotional states. And so in each class, we will prepare ourselves for the flows. We'll go through Qi activation, meditation, stretches, breathing exercises, and then we will move into a sequence of flowing movements that represent the 5 elements routine. So if this sparked your interest, please join me. The class starts October 7th in the Charm Center in Tallahassee at 1 o'clock, 1 hour, 1 to 2 o'clock. Thank you so much. And
Yes. Yo me llamo Laura Gonzalez Morris, and I'm teaching. What do you think? Yes, Spanish. That is my native tongue, and I love to share it with everyone, especially with OLLI members. My class will be on Thursdays, starting October 10th, and it'll go into November 14th. And what's special about my class is that we'll be conversing. What a concept. We'll actually be speaking in Spanish. Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? You have got to see it to believe it. Okay? Because we won't just be doing rote stuff or handing out handouts or, memorizing dialogue. We'll actually be having conversations. Now, this class is designed for people who have a little working knowledge or more in Spanish, but it doesn't matter. You can listen to it and learn no matter what level. So we will be doing basically some interactive activities, which makes it more fun, so that everyone gets a chance to speak. And they don't have to be afraid, because there is no fear in Spanish. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter what kind of experience you had in high school. Okay? We will forget that. That's okay. All right. And this is a brand new experience. It's very fun, because I love to have fun. And we laugh a lot, because there really is no mistakes. It's just a correction of something. And so if you say it wrong, so what? Correct it. And the point is, that's it, the point. Getting the point across. If you don't know the word for something, find something else to get the point across. So that's what makes it really interesting. When you feel yourself actually speaking in another language, I mean, that's a real rush, because you think, wow, I'm bilingual now. And it doesn't matter what level you are, that's the most fun of it. So I really would encourage you to come and try the class. And find a new and exciting experience in Spanish that you may not have had before. And if you've already had a wonderful class experience for my former students, if you're out there, okay, they do come back. So it must be okay for them. So, buenos días, nos vemos prontos. Hasta luego.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rima Nathan. I run the Claude Pepper Elder Law Clinic over at the law school. And this OLLI semester, I'll be teaching Know Your Rights as You Age. It is at FSU's campus. It's going to be 2 weeks. So it's October 31st and November 7th from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And this is a class that is a good idea for you to take if you feel, maybe you feel anxiety that you have not drafted a will yet, or you're like, what are the things that I need to do? What are all those documents and end-of-life questions I should be asking myself? Or if you've already had some of those documents done, but it was maybe 15 or 20 years ago, and you've since moved to Tallahassee, or have since had grandchildren born, or people have gotten married, and it might be time to update those things, but you haven't done so yet. So this is a class where we're kind of going to be addressing all of the basics of things that you should know as you age, as it pertains to the world of law and estate planning or healthcare planning. We taught this class over the summer, and I really appreciate everybody who took a chance and enrolled for the first time we were teaching it. This is going to be our second go-around with this class, and I structured it in a way that it will still be relevant to you even if you already took it in the summer. So day one is going to be all about estate planning. We're going to have Mary Wakeman as a guest speaker. She's a wonderful attorney in town. She's going to talk about estate planning, guardianship, financial exploitation, those areas of things. Day two is going to be with Candace Rudd, who's also a wonderful attorney in town. She's going to be our guest speaker, and she's going to be talking about Medicaid and health care planning. So how do I pay for health care as I age? What about unexpected health care costs that come up? What is that world all about, and what do I do there? So we're going to have some great local attorneys joining us. The law students enrolled in the Elder Law Clinic will also be joining us, so you'll get to hear from them about some of the work that they're doing at the clinic to enhance policies, aging policies in Florida and in the United States. So please join us, and please consider us a resource. If you have questions about good elder law attorneys in town, I've got a list. So please come to me if that's something that you're thinking about. Thank you.
So while this group is exiting, your next group will be the rest of Thursday and Saturday's classes. And I'll also take a moment to mention, because I forgot, OLLI travels, not just around town. So for those of you who have been on an OLLI trip, you know what a great experience it is. And this coming year, and in 2025, they'll be going to Morocco and Scandinavia. So Harriet Wass and George Wass are our travel club folks, so check with them. Come on up, next group. Thursday and Saturday. Thank you all.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Myers. I prefer to go by Ramey. I will be doing a class on Halloween on the 31st of October on my 5 years in Vietnam recently, between the years of 2016 and 2022. We'll be discussing all kinds of things that are there within my class. You will find it to be a most unusual, a different approach to this. This is Vietnam as it exists now. You guys may recognize this critter. You know what his name is? Stitch. Stitch is his family name. However, his first name is 4D. Okay? 4D was one of my students in class that always was there. He would attend classes but would not speak. When he held 4D in his arms, he could then participate. This was his Charlie Brown's, or Linus's blanket, the same equivalent. It was his comfort zone. But when he did not have 4D in his hands, he could not talk. It just was amazing. This is the kind of things that we discuss from my 5 years in Vietnam. As you see also, I'm an outsider. I graduated from University of South Florida, Tampa. Go Bulls. Congratulations as well. I think you'll enjoy the class. If you're missing a spook, you'll find one on October 31st. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Annie Booth. I'm an employee at the FSU Museum of Fine Arts. Raise your hand if you've ever been to the FSU MOFA, the museum on campus. Awesome. So a lot of you know about MOFA, but a lot of you might not even know there's a museum on campus, which is why I'm here to tell you about it. And also about my class, which is called Behind the Scenes at FSU's Museum of Fine Arts. It's happening from 1 to 2:30 p.m. on October 10th to November 14th. And this is a great class if you have some experience with museums, you're a museum visitor, or you never really go to museums and you have some questions. Maybe like, what do museums do? How does artwork get to a museum? What does a curator do? What is in a Museum of Fine Arts collection right here on campus that you can look at? We'll also be exploring the 2 exhibitions that we'll have on view this semester. One's called Homo Sargassum. It's featuring the work of 25 Caribbean artists who are looking at the migration of seaweed, or Homo Sargassum. And then the other show is all local quilts from a quilt maker named Mrs. Gussie Beatrice Arnold Hill. So if you like quilts, if you like contemporary art, if you like seaweed, if you like learning new things in a new space, then please take my class. And what's really cool about the class is that it actually happens at the museum. So you'll get really well acquainted with the museum. You'll get to see our back of house. You'll get to speak to different staff at the museum and learn all about it. So I hope to see you there.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mary Marcos. I work over at the Department of Philosophy. And this fall, I'm excited to be doing my first OLLI course, and it will be an introductory philosophy course. In the course, we'll discuss some of the questions that philosophers have grappled with throughout history, such as what makes life worth living? Is there anything we can know with absolute certainty? And what else? Oh, how should we orient ourselves to questions concerning the existence of God? Juicy, right? This is juicy stuff. So if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, I welcome you to join me. It will be Thursday, October 17th, here at FSU's campus from 1 to 2:30. Let's see. And then I wanted to give you a little teaser. Are any of you familiar with the ancient Greek myth of Sisyphus? I see some nodding. Yes. So you know that Sisyphus was condemned by the gods, for reasons I won't go into here, to roll a boulder uphill. And every time he got to the top, the boulder would roll back down, and Sisyphus would go back down and roll it back up. And that was to be his fate for as long as his life continued. And so one question that philosophers have posed is, do we think that Sisyphus's life is worth living? And so if you think this is kind of an interesting question or discussion to have, I welcome you to join me again October 17th, on Thursday, October 17th from 1 to 2:30 here at the Pepper Center. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to thank OLLI for the opportunity to be your teacher. I teach 2 classes, 2 3-week classes. My first one is called Anna Eleanor Roosevelt, the highly controversial First Lady in the United States, White House. It will be taught at Westminster Oaks starting October the 10th at 2:30 for 3 weeks. This 3-week class will include the following: Eleanor's most difficult upbringing as a child and in her youth, with her parents dying at a young age. Then meeting and marrying the famous Franklin Delano Roosevelt and bearing him 6 children. After recovering from the loss of one of her little boys during childhood, and after finding out that her husband has a long-term affair with Lucy Mercer, her own social secretary, she slowly but strongly emerges as a social and political advocate for multiple causes. She made her presence known in the White House. First, she promoted civil rights for African Americans. She worked for the anti-lynching that was taking place in the South, unsuccessfully. She worked for immigrants and immigrant children who just arrived in New York from a terrible trip across the ocean. She created after-school care programs for working mothers. She was building houses for homeless mine workers in West Virginia and integrated these houses among Black and white mine workers. Unbelievably, she literally went to the Pacific Theater during World War II to visit wounded soldiers. Her social and political activism was a particular concern for FDR's cabinet and FBI, the FBI Director Hoover, who literally created the second largest FBI file on Eleanor Roosevelt after Martin Luther King. Beautifully appointed by President Truman, she became ambassador to the newly founded United Nations for 8 years, and she was elected by a group of individuals, academics and philosophers and religionists to serve on the Human Rights Committee that ultimately produced no other than the famous document, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I hope you can join me at Westminster Oaks starting October the 10th for 3 classes. Thank you. Now that, this got turned off. Is yours working? Hello, hello? Hello? There it is. Thank you. Thank you, magic. All right. Und jetzt komme ich gerade aus Berlin zurück und leider war die Mauer nicht mehr da. Könnt ihr mir bitte helfen, was da passiert ist? Ladies and gentlemen, I just returned from Berlin and the Berlin Wall was gone. Can you explain that to me? Well, my second class, 3 weeks, also at Westminster Oaks, starting starting October 31st, thank you, for 3 periods at 2:30. I will also teach about some aspects of the rise and fall of the Berlin Wall. It is a classic example when people become reunited after years of separation, where their families are indifferent. This is my second course. Okay, so I only have 30 seconds left? Oh, okay. So I need to make that quickly then. The class will talk about, okay, the division of Germany after the war into 4 occupational zones by the Allies, including the city of Berlin, the capital of Nazi Germany at that time, and still is, of course, today. I will talk about the tension that occurred between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union, the fleeing of East Germans into West Germany who were separated from their family. I will talk about the Soviets stopping supply lines, going into West Berlin to drop coal and food to the hungry West Berliners. The tension grew between the East and the West, and ultimately the Soviets closed all supply lines. That led to the famous airlift in Germany, where Americans dropped food and water and coal to the Berliners. President Kennedy, Reagan, Gorbachev, and Martin Luther King visited Berlin during those hard times, encouraging the Soviet Union to ease tensions in East Germany. Demonstrations and protests increased among the East Germans until finally on November 9th, close to midnight, 11:30, the Berlin Wall broke. People rushed through the barriers, and that is a very unusual story I want to share with you. And the fall of the wall led to the reunification of East and West Germany to become the Republic of Germany. I hope you can join us and share with me this exciting event. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steph Jones, and my colleagues and I, my colleagues who you'll see in a minute, are from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission's Imperiled Species Management section. Have you ever wondered how a turtle came to live inside its shell? Or how manatees have a kind of unique approach to dental appointments? We are offering a course called Conservation of Florida Manatees and Sea Turtles that will explore the biology and conservation of Florida's most unique marine animals. We will dive into each species' biology and life cycle and explore some of their amazing behaviors and adaptations. By the end of the course, you'll be able to identify each of Florida's sea turtle species, know why manatees are big fans of power plants, and learn how turtles use their own version of GPS to find their way around the ocean. Finally, you'll learn about the FWC's efforts to protect and conserve these amazing creatures for future generations. We will talk about research methods, or how we know the things we already know, and how we're finding out the things we need to protect these species going forward from the emerging problems that each of them face. Some examples include how we will work to balance boater recreation in Florida's habitats with the manatees' use of these areas, how marine turtle nests are protected even as Florida's shorelines are more and more developed. And we'll finish with what you can do to help these really amazing wonders of nature. So our course will take place over 3 Thursdays in October, October 10th, 17th, and 24th, from 3 to 4:30 right here on FSU's campus. And I hope to see you all there.
Buongiorno. Come va? Va bene? Oh, fantastico, oh, fantastico, brava. Mi chiamo Austin. My name is Austin, and I am thrilled and so honored to be returning to OLLI to teach Italian for Travelers this fall. We will meet on Thursdays from 3 to 4:30. And I like to call this class the biggest party at OLLI, but after seeing some of my colleagues' presentations, I think we might have competition this year. The focus of the class is to give you a working knowledge of functional Italian that you need to get around, even if maybe your next trip to Italy is only by armchair. These days, we have a lot of apps, we have a lot of websites, we have a lot of technology that can help us maybe make a train reservation or translate something on our phone if we get into a jam. But there's no substitute for really being able to connect with people in their own language. And so this class will not only be functional, but it really enhances your enjoyment of any trip you might have planned. So we do this through an imagined journey of 6 cities. And for those of you who may be considering returning, we're going to be going to a couple new places this fall. It's going to be very exciting. We focus a lot on culture, on conversation, and less on grammar. And it's geared towards all levels. So if you have 0 knowledge of Italian, you're welcome. But if you have intermediate, or if you're a returning student, we have something for everyone. It's really a split level. We have Italian for Travelers 1 and Italian for Travelers 1.5 in the same class. Every linguistic community has various levels, and I really hope that you'll join us because we have a blast. Grazie mille.
I'm going to go with last year's tradition. I'm going to stay seated. Thanks to OLLI. Thank you for having me back and putting up with me for the past 3 years. All right, as some of you that have taken my classes, you know, I always strive for 2 different things. You learn one thing and pass it on, and you laugh at least one time. So, Miss Jones brought up turtles. What kind of phone does a turtle use? You're up, girl.
Is it a shell phone?
Good job, a shell phone. All right. Yeah, good job. Oh. She didn't crack under pressure. I got 2 more. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. When a turtle or tortoise has a party, what is it called? Oh, that's it's correct. How'd you get that? That's good. All right, last one. A celebration. Deborah told me all these jokes. Okay, third one and last. Why did the turtle or tortoise cross the road? Where was he or she going? I think I didn't tell this last year. Shell station. I think I told this. Marie is laughing. I told this last. Good memory, by the way. Okay. My name is Jerry Walls. I'm going to be teaching Silence in the Pines. A little bit different. I normally bring a lot of different live animals because I am licensed with 5 permits from Fish and Wildlife. I got all kinds of things that most people don't like or don't want. But this is going to be more of a philosophical course. Silence in the Pines or Stillness in the Pines is based on a book called Last Child in the Woods by Richard Louv. Our disconnection with nature. We are completely disconnected with nature. Everybody is using their cell phones. We're all electronically. Our diet has no vitamin N in it. And our children especially, we are all voters, but our children are going to pay the price if we don't realize to get people outdoors more. So the content is going to be about nature deficit disorder, about society's disconnection with nature, how and why it has happened, species and habitat decline, and what the corrective action or solution is. And the format is interactive discussion. I normally bring live animals, and once the class makes, if you want me to bring a few live animals, I'll do that. But this is going to be discussion on how we can change this direction of us not understanding how important it is for mental and physical health to get outdoors. Last thing, this is important. Nature is so much cheaper than therapy. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ron Hahn, and for the last 12 years, I've been teaching your grandchildren, well, maybe not your grandchildren necessarily, but certainly the young generation of film students at the College of Motion Picture Arts in the art and science of motion picture visual effects. I concurrently have been working in the motion picture industry for about 30 years, and I am proud to say that I have worked on some great motion pictures, some great films, and I'm even more proud to say that I've worked on all of the worst films. Because the worst films were always more fun because they have nothing to lose. So just for a show of hands, how many people here, when you watch a film, watch the motion picture credits? Anyone? Oh, wow, that's really impressive. Well, for the rest of you who don't, I hope to change that, because motion pictures involve a collaboration with dozens and dozens and dozens of really talented and really hardworking and dedicated artists. And if it's a Marvel movie, they number into the hundreds. So what this course is going to do, it's called A Brief History of Visual Effects. Brief because I only get 6 weeks to cover over 100 years of technology and imagination. I like to teach this with a historic perspective because I think for our students even, if you understand the history of how we got here, then you can trace the trajectory as we go forward into new technology like generative AI and how that is going to affect the motion picture industry. But I start all the way back at the very beginning with the very first visual effects technician. And as everyone knows, that was in 1824 when a gentleman by the name of John Ayrton Paris showed up at the Royal College of Physicians in London, and he showed the assembled doctors a picture of a ferret and a picture of a nest, and found that when you spin that, the result is something happens in your brain that fuses those two images together, and the rest is history. So if you will join me, I'll be teaching my class at 5 o'clock to 6:30, thank you, at the Pepper Center. Room to be determined, but I promise you I'll find it by the time we get there, ready to do the class. And I hope you'll join me, and I think we'll have fun. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Proctor, and I'm a professor of history at Tallahassee State College. I make sure I get that right. And our job as history professors there is to be part of the state civic literacy requirement. So we teach a blend of history and civics with a view toward making everyone better citizens of our republic. So with that mission in mind, I am formally drafting you into the Vietnam War. However, you can complete all your service in the safety of the Pepper Center. You will not have to tromp through the Mekong Delta. So it's a great course. When I taught it before, I found out that it was a very much larger topic than I anticipated, and we bogged down in a quagmire and didn't finish the war. Now, who could have predicted that? So I now have Vietnam War Part 1 and Part 2. And so this course, we will do the deepest origins, the whole way it got started, the Cold War context, global context, and make a mad dash up to the Tet Offensive. And then in the spring, we'll go from Tet Offensive to the end. But it's a great course. And how many of you are Vietnam veterans? We have a couple. And last time we had a few. So I always teach it in a very empathetic and welcoming manner for any veteran, whether Vietnam or not, and you're always encouraged to contribute. Some of the best parts of my course is that when veterans have contributed to it. So if you were in the Korean War, we had Jack Peoples, a native, do a terrific talk, which I thought was the best part of the whole course. So you're always welcome. So we hope to see you, and your draft cards are in the mail. And we will see you in the Pepper Center at 5 p.m. on Thursday evenings. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I know that they saved the best till last, right? Absolutely. So my name is Sunny with a U. I'm your enthusiastic bird watcher. I teach backyard birding and beyond. I've taught it 9 years for OLLI. And it's over 4 days by popular demand. Saturday, starting October 26th, and then consecutively from there. You will spend equal time birding as well as learning how to use binoculars, what ID tips, what bird food you should feed your birds rather than letting your birds go to your neighbor's gourmet kitchen. So it's a wonderful class. We have a wonderful time. I've had some people take it 3 or 4 times. Not that the instruction isn't good, it's just so much fun. So it starts at 9, which is kind of late for birding, but I know that people don't get up as early as they used to. And we go till about 1, maybe 2. Tall Timbers is a place that we go, bird song, St. Mark's, and at Tall Timbers, you will probably get to band and net birds, which is really fun. And they do not let people go and bird at Tall Timbers, so it's really special. A good friend of mine is there, so they allow us to do this. I hope you will take the class. You will have a blast. You'll learn why that blue jay right now looks really ratty, what the babies look like, what each species through the migration season. I teach in the fall because it's the best time for migration. So I hope you come and join us. 15 people, that's the limit. So you get all that attention.
Well, I want to thank everyone for being here today, and I especially want to thank all of our wonderful instructors and giving us a preview of the classes that they offer us this semester. And I'd like to put out a plea to every one of you who are taking classes to become a volunteer and host a class. We have 20+ classes in person, and we'll need a host and potentially co-hosts for the bigger classes. And I know Kent would love to have some of you come up to him and tell him you would love to volunteer for the class you're taking. So please consider doing that for us, and thank you again for coming.